Welcome back to Coin Explorer, where small coins reveal big stories. Today, we are diving into a 1977 United States quarter dollar, a coin that looks ordinary but hides details most people never notice. Imagine holding a coin that has quietly traveled through decades, passing from hand to hand, witnessing countless moments of everyday life. At first glance, it feels simple, almost too common to matter. But the longer you look, the more questions begin to appear. Why does this coin still attract attention? What makes certain examples stand out? Stay with me, because what you're about to discover might completely change how you see coins forever, and you may never look at your spare change the same way again. Let's start with the front of the coin. The portrait of George Washington appears calm, detailed, and familiar, yet there is a subtle depth in the design that often goes unnoticed. The word Liberty stretches across the top, while In God We Trust sits beside the profile. The year 1977 rests at the bottom, quietly marking its place in history. But here's the interesting part. No two coins age the same way. Some lose their sharpness, while others somehow preserve tiny details that feel almost untouched. That difference is where curiosity begins, and where collectors start paying very close attention, often comparing even the smallest design elements. Now flip the coin, and the eagle on the reverse side immediately commands attention. Its wings are spread wide, holding arrows and olive branches, representing strength and peace at the same time. The words United States of America surround the top, while E Pluribus Unum sits above the eagle. At the bottom, quarter dollar completes the design. But here's something most people never think about. Tiny differences in how this design was struck can completely change how the coin looks under light. Some appear flat, while others almost glow with detail, and that difference can be everything when examined closely. The 1977 quarter comes from a time when coins were designed for durability rather than precious metal value. It is made from a copper-nickel composition, giving it strength and a distinct edge layer. But don't let that simplicity fool you. Over time, collectors have realized that value doesn't always come from materials. It comes from rarity, condition, and uniqueness. Millions of these coins were made, yet only a small number have survived in truly exceptional condition. That's where the story becomes interesting, because not all coins are equal, even if they started out the same on the day they were minted. Condition is where everything begins to change. A coin that has been heavily used will show wear, soft edges, faded details, and small scratches. But every now and then, a 1977 quarter appears that looks almost untouched, with sharp lines and a bright surface that reflects light beautifully. These coins instantly stand out. Collectors often describe that moment as something you feel before you even fully understand it. It's that sudden realization that this coin is different, and that difference is what makes people stop, look closer, and sometimes become completely fascinated by what they're holding. Now let's talk about mint marks, a tiny detail that can make a big difference. Some 1977 quarters were produced in Philadelphia, while others came from Denver. These locations are often marked by a small letter, but sometimes it's missing or difficult to see. That tiny detail can completely change how collectors view the coin. Certain mint versions are harder to find in high-grade condition, and that rarity adds another layer of interest. It's like a hidden signature, quietly telling you where the coin began its journey decades ago and how it entered circulation. Another detail that creates excitement is the possibility of mint errors. These are coins that were struck slightly differently during production, maybe off-center, slightly doubled, or with unusual textures. At first, these might look like mistakes, but in the collector world, they're often seen as rare and fascinating variations. Each error coin is unique, which makes it even more appealing. Imagine finding a coin that no one else has in exactly the same form. That sense of uniqueness is what keeps collectors searching again and again, hoping to discover something truly one of a kind. Over time, something interesting has happened. Coins like the 1977 quarter, once ignored, are now being re-examined with fresh eyes. A new generation of collectors is starting to look closely at coins they once overlooked. They're noticing details, patterns, and qualities that were previously ignored. This shift has created a renewed interest in everyday coins, turning them into objects of curiosity. It's no longer just about rare, ancient coins. Sometimes, even a simple quarter can become the center of attention for collectors and enthusiasts alike. There have been conversations in collector communities about certain extraordinary examples of the 1977 quarter attracting massive attention. In very rare discussions, when a coin is described as nearly perfect with exceptional detail, the numbers being mentioned can become surprisingly high. Some theoretical scenarios and collector debates have even connected such coins with values reaching up to $76 million. These are not everyday cases, but they highlight how powerful rarity and condition can be when they come together in a unique way that captures widespread attention. What makes this even more interesting is the contrast. On one hand, most 1977 quarters are still used as everyday currency without a second thought. On the other hand, a small number of exceptional coins can completely change how people view the entire series. This contrast creates curiosity and excitement. It makes people wonder if they might already have something valuable without realizing it. And that thought alone is enough to make anyone start checking their coins more carefully and paying attention to small details they once ignored. Surface quality is another detail that collectors focus intensely on. Tiny marks, scratches, or dull areas can affect how a coin is seen, but when a coin has a clean surface with minimal imperfections, it immediately feels different. Light reflects differently, details appear sharper, and the overall look becomes more striking. Collectors often use magnification tools just to study these tiny details. It's in those small details where the true character of a coin begins to reveal itself, creating a deeper sense of appreciation. Preservation plays a huge role in all of this. Coins that are protected from air, moisture, and frequent handling tend to maintain their original appearance much longer. Over decades, even small exposure can slowly change a coin's surface. That's why experienced collectors treat their coins with extreme care. Proper storage can make the difference between a coin that looks average and one that feels almost untouched by time. And in the world of collecting, that difference can be everything when it comes to long-term appeal. Another subtle detail that often goes unnoticed is the edge of the coin. The reeded edge with its fine ridges was originally designed for practical reasons, but today it also adds to the coin's character. On a well-preserved 1977 quarter, these ridges remain sharp and clearly defined. However, on coins that have seen years of circulation, the edges might feel smoother, slightly worn down by constant use. This small detail can quietly reveal how much a coin has traveled over time, offering another clue into its history and condition. But beyond value and condition, there's something deeper about this coin. It has traveled through time, been part of everyday transactions, and quietly witnessed moments that we will never know. Each coin carries a silent history, shaped by the people who used it. That human connection adds a layer of meaning that goes beyond numbers or rarity. It turns a simple object into something far more interesting, something that feels alive with untold stories and hidden journeys across generations. For anyone starting their journey into coin collecting, the 1977 quarter is a perfect place to begin. It is easy to find, simple to study, and full of details waiting to be discovered. The more you look, the more you start to notice. And once that curiosity begins, it becomes hard to stop. You start checking every coin, comparing details, and searching for something special. So the next time you come across one, take a closer look and don't rush past it. If you enjoyed this deep dive, stay connected with Coin Explorer, where every coin has a story waiting to be uncovered.